I would always ask people, what do you want? What would it take to make you happy? And most people, when I say, what do you want? They just say, I just want to be happy. Tell me what that looks like. And as the years progressed, women were more able to identify what that specifically was. But when I first started asking that question in the mid-90s, they would always just say, well, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. Well, what does that look like? What I realize is that most people have never defined it. And then they'd say, well, I want my kids to be happy. Well, that's your kids, but what do you want? And so being able to answer specifically what that looks like for you is the beginning of being happier. So I made a conscious choice for my happiness early in my career that New York would not be the place that I would seek. My dream was Chicago. And so the very idea of being in a place where I felt like I could take roots was what I was looking for to make myself feel secure, solid, confident. So none of us can be happy all the time, but I will say that I have reached a level of enjoyment, contentment, satisfaction, and purpose that I'm pretty much happy all the time, even though I have negative feelings. Being able to identify your negative feeling versus believing that that is a constant state of mind for you, or happiness or unhappiness. So the fact that I have a bad emotion or bad feelings, but can observe those feelings and then change them. One of the most profound reasons, I think, is because everybody is looking at other people's social media, what they believe to be other people's lives, which is only a snapshot of other people's lives, and feeling envy about that. And one of the things that Arthur and I talk about in this book is that envy is the great destroyer.
The happiness killer.
It is the happiness killer. And so anytime you're looking at anything else with envy, you have already killed your own happiness or your ability to be happier in that moment and probably in moments to come. So I, coming from where I've come from, rural Mississippi, never imagining the life that I have, for a long time, I have felt that I had enough, even though I kept getting more. But inside myself, I feel that I am enough, which is one of the great lessons. What is at the root of most people's dysfunction is that you don't think that you're good enough. You don't think that you're worthy. You don't own your own essence and your own power. I know this, that many of the things that have happened to you have also happened for you. And that I learned when the crisis or the challenge showed up for me, I immediately would ask, sometimes out loud, but certainly in my own conscious spirit, what is this here to teach me? And how can I get that lesson as soon as possible? And this, I guarantee you, the moment you have the conscious realization of, oh, this is why this is here, showing up to allow me to see whatever that is in your life, it changes for you. Beyond the happiness, and if actually, one of the things that's so powerful, I think, about what Arthur has written specifically is about how your emotions are there to allow you to feel the feel and then take the wheel of this feeling that I'm having this feeling, and now I need to do what? And not to allow yourself to be overcome by the feeling. So you have a feeling of anger, you have a feeling of sadness, you have a feeling of disappointment. Doesn't mean you are those things, you are those emotions. And so now what am I gonna do now that I'm feeling disappointed about certain things? We are in control of our happiness and happiness. You get to decide whether or not you choose to be happier or not. And it's not the circumstances. They know when they've had enough. And for me, it's understanding that The pursuit is not out here, but it's here. The pursuit is within. The pursuit is to, first of all, have a great understanding of your own identity and what is required for you to be happy. And to know the difference between your negative feelings and your emotions and your state of being. So my state of being is always a state of satisfaction, enjoyment, and purpose, which is what defines happiness. You need enjoyment, you need satisfaction, and you need purpose. So what author has also taught me is to have more fun. He has taught me to be more open to saying yes to experiences that I normally probably would have not said yes to. Also, just open to saying yes to life in a way that I had not been before. And faith meaning not religion, because we're not here to tell anybody about any religion you need to be, but you need a faith in something that's more transcendent than yourself. You need, if that's nature, if that's, you know, a walk in the park, if that's music, if that's art. I don't know how people survive without some kind of spiritual practice or some kind of acknowledgement that you are not the only thing that matters in the world, that there is something bigger than you, by whatever name you choose to call that, and that there is the mystery of life, and that you lean into that, that you cannot control all of the external circumstances in your life, but you can control how you feel about those circumstances in your life. I'm the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. And so what that taking control of your emotions and not allowing your emotions to control you, taking the wheel, allows you to be the master of your fate and the captain of your soul, and to do that with greater happiness. Being able to be the captain for yourself and master your own fate begins with mastering those emotions. So I think that's one of the most significant things that author has to teach us about being happier. I have trained myself that the first thought is thank you. That is my first thought. And then I move from what do I have to do, or what is this day? What day is it? Oh, I'm in New York. I'm talking to Nora later. But my first thought, no matter where I am in the world, is thank you. And that is also my last thought going to bed. I'm happy for other people's happiness. I'm particularly happy when other women rise. I mean, that's what I've been trying to do my entire career, is help people see the fullness of themselves, is holding up a mirror so you can see, even when you're looking at the most dysfunctional people that I'm talking to on the show, you can say, well, I'm not that, and I don't want to be that. And oh, if they were able to triumph over that, I could triumph over that. And so that your happiness, your happierness is going to be up to you. And it's up to you to be the master of your fate, the captain of your soul, and most importantly, the master of your happiness. No matter what, I'm going to be okay. And no matter what, I can be in control of how I choose to react regardless of the circumstance.